Normally, I open each one of my video with a very funny introduction, but there's so much news today that
Ain't nobody got time for that.
because we just found out that all the leaks were true. Every leak that we saw were true. The mere fact that the damage control team, the defense force, which is the gaming industry, is not talking about it, we know that it is true. In addition to that, we'll talk about how Starfield gave us a big update as to how many players are playing the game and what is the content heading into the future. We would also talk about how Jim Ryan is cashing out. What he's cashing out about, we'll find out about that. We'll also find out about how journalists are making big money talking about Microsoft. And of course, we won't forget the main story for today, which is the PlayStation 5 is at 50 million sold. You know, there are a number of ponies who would have dared me to, make a video on Sony selling 50 million consoles. But today, you'll be getting that and much, much more. Let's get it.
This is a sickness!
Let's get it. Yes, don't forget to like and subscribe and all that jazz. Let's get straight into the news. First up, let's talk about the gaming media. Today, a chart came out that specify how many different articles are written about the different platforms, different companies, different games. And you won't believe which company is number one company that journalists love to write about, that journalists love to make clickbait articles for. That is none other than Microsoft. Yes, Microsoft is leading the pack. The so-called third place in the three big platforms, which is Nintendo, PlayStation, and Microsoft. The third one, the journalists love to make articles on it. Now this explains why places like IGN and GameStop made a lot of negative Starfield articles because they get a lot of engagement on Xbox games like Starfield and talking about the Xbox console. So we can now understand the method to the madness as to why these gaming media sites love to put out a negative piece. It's because they get the most engagement and the most money from making negative tweets of Microsoft and Starfield. So let me hear your thoughts about all of that in the comment sections below. Next up, let's talk about how Sony is planning to raise the price of their first party games. Any sane gamer hearing that would most likely say something about it, say something that we don't want games to raise again. We don't want to pay more for games is already high, right? But the Sony company know that their fans don't care. Their fans love being milked. You see the cow or love being milked, and here is proof of it. Listen up.
If Spider-Man 3 costs $100, I'm still buying it.
Bam!
Back. So shout out to Silent Merc. He doesn't care. He wants to, I'm definitely not putting that on you, Persona, but like you were saying earlier, you were saying you don't mind to purchase a game that you love and adore to play, and I'm right there with you.
I think most people will. I think most people are willing to pay the money. Like Sean Layden when he left was correct. Like he said, something has to budge, either the size and the budgets or the prices. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be the prices, and I'm telling you what, I'm not going to stop gaming for a $10 increase. I may be, but none of us are going to stop gaming, and they know that. So it's what it's going to be. In my opinion, it's going to be the prices.
Most people won't stop gaming if there's another increase. Like a lot of that stuff that you see on Twitter it's exclusive to Twitter, because in the real world, the numbers don't lie. Because when you're looking at all these financial reports and best-selling games of every week and all this other stuff, people are still buying. Consumers are buying games like they are.
I would gladly pay $100 for a game.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
And this is the sickness of the pony community, of the Sony community, because here we have these Sony fans gathered together to cope. They heard the bad news that Sony would be increasing prices, so they came on this podcast to try to justify Sony planning to raise, these games. Now, one of these guys said that, the numbers don't lie, and they are correct. The numbers don't lie. We would have seen recently in the leaks that Sony and most companies are making plenty profit from these games already. We saw Spider-Man made a lot of profit. We saw, Wolverine is expected to make a lot of profit. So it's not to say that these studios and these companies are hurting for money at the $70 price. They already make bank. So the mere fact that they are thinking about raising the price shows proof that, they are greedy. They are greedy for it. Now, another thing about the numbers, we saw on numerous occasions, whether it be Returnal, whether it be Ratchet and Clank, whether it be God of War or Horizon, the user attach rate for those games were horrible at $70. We know the user attach rate for those games. It is horrible because remember, those games had a very large install base of both the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 4, but yet it did not cross 30% of the install base or 40%. It remained very low, 10, 15, under 20% of the install base. So how could these guys sit down here and say that, gamers are still going to buy these games in mass when already they are not buying it? Think about that. These ponies are sick. Returnal, under 600,000 sold, flopped. Ratchet and Clank, 2.2 million sold, flopped. God of War Ragnarok, over 15 million sold with an install base of over 100 million consoles. Very, very poor. Horizon Forbidden West sold under 10 million with an install base of over 100 million. Very, very poor. So I don't know what these guys are talking about, that the numbers don't lie. The reason why Jim Ryan pivot to games as a service was because the PlayStation community was not buying enough of the so-called AAA bangers. Isn't that clear? So this price increase is just another slap to the face to pony fans. Next up, Bethesda just gave us an update on Starfield. They basically put up a card helping us to see that over 13 million players played Starfield. They broke down the hours, the days, and so forth. We know how Starfield had a tall hill to climb, and we know that a lot of persons hated that Starfield was exclusive to Xbox and wanted this game to fail. But through it all, we're seeing that Starfield basically conquered the media, conquered the haters, and now is sitting pretty as a brand new IP, in same line with Bethesda other legacy titles. So Starfield is doing good, and no doubt as the time progresses, they would release new updates to revamp the already existing community. So Starfield is killing it as usual. And finally, the last news or little news topic we have is that the Lies of P developer is praising Game Pass. He has seen some significant increases to his game because of releasing on Game Pass, and he really loves the service. He really loved what Game Pass did for Lies of P, and he's happy that he released it day and date on Game Pass. So this is another tip of the hat to Xbox here. Despite the haters is saying that Game Pass is terrible for the industry, we are seeing time and time again developers are saying that Game Pass is doing well for their game and, of course, their pockets. Finally, it's time for the main topic. PlayStation 5 just came out and said that they sold 50 million consoles. Now, that could be debated. We don't know if that's a lie or if it's the truth, but let's just go with it. PlayStation 5 is at 50 million consoles. And you know, IGN came out with an article, you know, again, another clickbait article saying that the PlayStation 5 outsold the Xbox Series consoles 3-1 in 2023. Now, if things are going so well for Sony, if Sony just came out with these big numbers, or these big numbers was just announced that Sony came out with, the first question we have to ask is that what is propelling gamers to buy the PlayStation 5? Is it exclusive PlayStation title, or is it that PlayStation have the mindshare for the multiplats? Yes, because it's clear, the data is showing that a number of gamers are playing the PlayStation 5 because of the multiplats. Fortnite, Call of Duty, Roblox. There isn't one PlayStation first-party title being played by the general public on PlayStation 5. Look at this other list. In the top 10 in November, or being played right now, not one PlayStation 5 exclusive is being played. So it's clear. Right now, PlayStation has the mindshare, and that is, of course, Microsoft's fault. Microsoft need to do a better job to get the mindshare of the public that, here what, their console is also a leading platform to play multiplats, right? But when it comes to what is the success of the PlayStation 5, they had the momentum from the PlayStation 4, so it's obvious that, you know, they have the majority of players playing on their consoles. So that's very clear. So PlayStation just sold 50 million consoles. So then this would be a good time for the stocks to go up, right? Well, no. Just before I made this video, the stocks are going down. Why is the stocks going down for PlayStation if it is projected to sell even more than the PlayStation 4? Why is the stocks continually going down for PlayStation or for Sony if it is? This is such a big deal. 50 million consoles. Another damning evidence that things aren't looking so good for Sony is what Jim Ryan is saying.
To bring me my money.
So why is Jim Ryan saying to bring me my money? Why is Jim Ryan talking about money? You see, it is being reported that outgoing PlayStation CEO Jim Ryan just sold some of his Sony stock. Now, if Sony is projected to do better than ever, if they are doing so well, why would Jim Ryan, a CEO that is a millionaire, a multi-millionaire, why would he see the need to sell some of his stock? I mean, things are only going to go up. Why sell his stocks if you know, it is projected to go up? Everything is about to go up for Sony. That is sounding sketchy. But one of my commenters, Justin J on YouTube, killed it. I couldn't say it any better. He really killed this comment. Jim Ryan has a lot of money. Also, he probably has a huge severance or retirement pay from Sony. He's been there for many years. He's a businessman. If he knew Sony was going to make a lot of money in the coming years, he wouldn't be selling any stock off. You sell it when it's at an all-time high, or you sell it when you feel the company may belly up or really go low in stock's price for the foreseeable future. Isn't it obvious to everyone already that Sony is in trouble? People are in denial due to the console sales only. You don't make profits of console sales, and Sony is behind Xbox and Tencent in revenue profits and has a far lower user engagement than Xbox has. Sony would have to spend billions to catch up with Xbox here for 2024 and beyond. Aside for all Marvel games using the same engine by the same devs, so I'm afraid each game will almost be copycats of one another. Sony might have no new IP till after 2031. That's crazy. And no, I definitely don't want Sony to fail, as much as I cannot stand the fan base at times. Sony brought me many years of gaming, but they are losing ground and Xbox is about to dominate for 2024 onward. It's obvious. So yes, one of my commenters couldn't say it better. This is exactly my thoughts. If things are going well for Sony, there is no need to cash out. But at the end of the day, Jim Ryan is saying before he sees the big crash,
I'm leaving here with something. You know what I mean? I'm from around the way. I'm leaving with something.
So let me know what you think about all the news today, guys. You know, the video went on a little longer than expected, 60 minutes. Let me know what you think about everything in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.